Hi everybody, it's Kimberly and welcome back to my channel, Transformations. And today we're talking about the ego and how this plays into your experience and your twin flame situation, whether you're in separation or whether you just met or want to encounter a twin flame. But mostly I'm speaking to those of you that most likely are in a separation phase with your twin. And it can be a really painful experience. I'm also in it right now, so I understand the dynamics of this experience. I want you to know that there is a lot of beauty that can come during this time, and that it doesn't have to just be painful. And so a lot of this beauty that's coming, and not just for me, but in talking with others that are in this same phase of the experience, a lot that's coming in is just like this opening to your gifts, your creative gifts, your spiritual gifts, the reaching out to connect with others. Some of you are really reaching into the healing arts and starting to expand, or gaining confidence in areas that you didn't have, or be in your power center, in where you're sort of segueing into your power center so that you can come into the role of facilitator as either a mentor, a teacher, a helper, a creator, a healer. And last night we held our first ever inaugural Twin Flames support group conference call. It's free. I'm going to do it weekly, probably most likely Thursdays. You can email me at transformationscapecod@gmail.com. and I'll shoot you back a link to the conference call number and with times and days and all of that. So if you're interested, it was a great way to connect with others around the world who are going through a similar experience and kind of checking in with one another and see where we're at. And I'm on the call and helping to guide the process, and there's just a great exchange and connection. So I highly recommend that you join in if you did miss it this yesterday. So today is Friday. We're moving into the weekend, and it's important that you have a joyous weekend. So let's talk about how to enjoy this process a bit. So one of the things that I think happens, that I'm seeing like from comments on the videos and from my own experience too, is that there is this focus on the 3D plane and the here and now, and the he said, she said. That was my last segment. And in order to really work through that, the focus, quite honestly, needs to shift back onto yourself. So once you start to shift back onto yourself and do your own healing work, there'll be less of a wanting to help the other person, to help your twin, to save your twin, to control your twin. So what I've heard repeatedly from many of you is the essence of, I see my twin's potential. I feel like they're going to be on this journey with me, and we're going to be healing or making music or working together or forming a business. And, that's great. That's what this whole experience is about. But right now, in a separation phase, your opportunity is here for you to segue into your power and to get ready for your piece of that. And how you shape that is important. And the process and speed at which your twin does his or her work is not up to you. There are certain situations that your twin may be in right now that will bring those things to the forefront for them, or it may take a much longer time for them to awaken than you. But there's no reason for you to become stagnant in your process, in your vision. If you have this hope and feeling for your twin, I do believe that you have this hope and feeling about what your life path and what your purpose is. So get on your path and get on your purpose and start doing the work, whatever it is. Dig into the healing, dig into the work, the sharing, the connecting, and all of that. And at the same time, be doing your shadow work. And what does that mean? Your inner child work, the things that were hindrances in any of your past relationships that now maybe a light has been shown on, and you're seeing what needs to be healed. Well, this is your time to do it and to use that experience of healing to help other people. So let's talk about your twin for a moment. How do you know your twin's doing their work? You don't know, and you have to relinquish that feeling of wanting to help. Let go of wanting to save that other person, or it's easy for us to see, especially when we become enlightened, just like we've risen up above the whole situation. Not only can we see what's going on with ourselves, but we also see very clearly what is happening with the other person. So let me be specific about my situation. My twin is we're in separation, and if you've seen my last videos, he reconnected with a former flame, somebody that he went back to. And this person has a narcissistic personality traits. And I have determined in my healing and learning that my twin has a deep level of codependency, and that classic narcissistic codependent combo has come to be for them, and that his going back to her is very much like an addiction, and it really stems for him in codependent behavior, which I've heard a lot of you say about your twins. Codependency is deep rooted in non-self-acceptance and trauma from childhood, often growing up with a narcissistic parent and not receiving the approval or acceptance or love, unconditional love from a parent figure. Now, I'm in a situation with a male. So more times than not, if you're a female watching this, the divine masculine is really, this is a reflection on probably most likely something that he didn't receive from his mother, or the mother was a narcissist, and vice versa. If it's a masculine looking at a female, it's usually a father issue. So in that, there's a deep inner child healing that needs to take place with him. And, the reality of a codependent and narcissistic situation is that a codependent person will not leave a narcissist. And if they leave, they keep going back because the narcissist feels like a void within them. And it feels this sort of loneliness. So in my particular situation, my twin, I think, did have a narcissistic mother figure, not in a completely selfish way, I should say, but in a way that he was the extension of her reflection. So in other words, his acceptance was being cute as a child and being lovable because he looked a certain way, and that's how she viewed and accepted him. So he tends to lead like that in relationships. Does that make sense? So when he enters into a relationship, the way he feels accepted and loved initially is if someone is attracted to him, or if there's like a physical connection, or if that woman chases him and really latches onto that physical piece. And so the unique thing about our situation was that I didn't do that. And because that's not innately me, and I think from my own wounds and fears and whatever, I was being cautious also. And it caused him to step into a place where he was actually chasing me a bit and following me and having to step up in a way where he hadn't before, and accept that the physical way that someone shows love initially to him is not the strongest or only way to receive love or acceptance. And I think he felt that in a very great way. And that is the foundation of what our twin connection is. It is going beyond our fears and patterns, and being loved and accepted in a different way by the other person, and really knowing that at the deepest level. Okay. And so many of you, this might resonate with. I know the situations are different for everyone, but this probably resonates, that there's something that was in your twin from the get-go, from the early stages when you first met, that helped you to push past your typical, patterns, or your typical what you would put up with, or what you would deal with, or how you would approach things, and to start to see it differently, and then also to maneuver differently. So let me bring this back down to the here and now. So my twin is in this relationship. It's playing out as it is. It's really toxic, I think, and as there's a lot of arguing and misery and anger and pain and whatever, and so he needs to go through that, and there are lessons in that for him. Whether he does his inner child work or not, I have really no control over. But what I can do in the meantime, is to do my own inner child work, is to hold the space and the light for him, and to create a space of an allowance that there is a possibility for him to work through this. And the proof of that, if this makes any sense, is the proof that he came into the relationship with me in a way that he's never come into a relationship with anyone. Okay, so that's the proof that he has the ability to do it, that he's on the cusp of doing it. And so because the connection is so strong and you're so intertwined from a telepathic and 5D level, that you can influence this by accelerating your own path of growth, by clearing out your own stuff, your own inner wounds, your own shadow work, and by really visualizing your twin in a higher place with you. This doesn't mean I see my twin's potential and I just wish I could tell them, or I just wish I could change it, because I'm hearing that a lot. And I understand that, but you can't do anything on the physical plane. You can't tell them, no one's going to tell you to do your work. You are shown when you are ready, when something cracks you open, when a great lesson is learned, when your soul wants to expand beyond where it is now to get to a higher level, it will. And so the work that you're doing is for expansion. And you are expanding. You are walking through the pain and expanding and growing and giving and connecting and being of service. And that's what this is all about. And if you truly are connected with a twin flame, they are moving in that direction also. It may just be at a different speed. And the only way to accelerate this process is to keep the focus on you and to hold the vision for them. And I will just keep saying that again and again and again, that you can't control them. You can't tell them, well, you could be so great, or I see the potential in you. You can only just love them for the here and now and how they are, and hold that vision and get on your path, and they'll join in with you if they're meant to awaken at this time in this physical reality, in this lifetime. They will join in that path with you, because their soul will be yearning to break toxic patterns, to end addictions. Their soul will be yearning to expand. And you'll be the lighthouse. You'll be the beacon, lighting the way for them. But it's very much depends on you focusing on you and getting on the path maybe first, being the pioneer and not worrying about how to fix the other person. So that's my message for you today. Don't try to fix or control. Release and let go. Hold space, love, light, and work on you, and accept that there is, I hate the word accept. Actually, I got into this last night on the call, and I'll just do a little aside to this. But on our conference call, we talked about the difference between acceptance and allowance. And acceptance is like accepting the here and now. So I'll say you might accept that your twin is a codependent, or a narcissist, or however you want to label any, wounded behavior, whatever it is. But you have to allow for the possibility of change, and know that as you change, you feel yourself changing, the same possibility, you have to create the space for the possibility. So the same possibility is available to your twin, but it's not up to you to direct them. But in doing your work, you will be the beacon in this strong soul connection. So remember that light radiating and being the beacon, and standing in your own power, and knowing how that will really affect everything. And so just enjoy this journey, enjoy the beauty in it, even in the pain. And I will talk to you soon. Have a wonderful weekend, everybody. Thanks.